7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
I don't mean to open the show and marvel at the same thing every other day, it seems, or at least every third day, but I'm going to again because, well, my mouth was agape, and I watched him drop 49 again last night, and he's done it 5 times this month and 21 times, more than 10 three-pointers in his career, which is way more than anybody, and it goes on, and they won, and Steph Curry's on a stupid streak, and it continues. What's up, y'all? Merry Day. I believe they're calling it Tuesday today. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. I don't know. Steve Kerr said I'm out of things to say. Like, whatever it is, you ask me about it every day, every night. Whatever I told you after the last game, go ahead and print that. And it's kind of where it is. JJ, running out of ridiculous superlatives, and it's got to be getting tougher because every team is keying on him, double teaming him, triple teaming him. And what Steph was doing 20 in the fourth quarter last night in a game on the road against a really good team, and to win a game that was important for his team. They went out and won last night 107-96 to the Warriors over the 76ers. 107-96. I'm running out of superlatives, but I'm sure not running out of the enjoyment watching him.
What Steph Curry is doing right now is really reminding us he is a superstar in this game. I think there's still a lot of people that look at Steph Curry and go, "Oh, that's cool. Like he's a pretty good shooter," but I don't think they view him as that legit take over, dominate, can win any game type of player. And yes, Golden State has struggled this year, but he picked it up in this stretch that you mentioned, and he's playing at an unbelievable level, reminding people that he was a unanimous MVP, that he's won the MVP twice, that he's won the NBA Finals, and it's a situation in which it's not all because of Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson. He was the core of that. He set the tone. He has established what the Golden State Warriors were going to be, and he doesn't have the kind of help that he's had in the past. The team is not as good, but he's risen his game to a level that we look at, and people got to start respecting it. It's not just a novelty. He's not just a guy that can shoot. He is a guy that is now on a stretch where the play-in tournament is right there. We get that. But I expect him to get his team to the playoffs through the play-in tournament and be an absolute menace in that first round.
Well, if you think, to your point, he's a one-trick pony, then A, it's a lazy narrative, and B, you're wrong. You don't watch. He's the best shooter we've ever seen, ever. And for those of you who loved Pete Maravich, I'm going to go on a limb, and I've seen little Pete Maravich stuff, and all due respect to Pete Maravich. And I know there was no three-point line then. I'll tell you this, best shooter I've ever seen, ever. But he's not just a one-trick pony. He's creating and he's leading. And he's playing some defense, and he's getting to the rim, and he's doing it against double and triple teams. Some of the numbers are just beyond stupid at this point. He's averaging 40 points, 39.9 points a game during this stretch. 6.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists. That's over 10 games in April. It's April, what's today, 20th? So they're playing every other night, and he's done that. That's in April. He is got 21 games in his career where he's had 10 or more three-pointers. He has scored 30 points or more in 11 straight games. In that stretch, or in this month, he scored 40 or more 5 times. I sit there and I'm in awe. And I don't know that I'd watch a whole lot of a Warriors 76ers game on a regular basis, but to me, I can't keep my eyes off it.
It's must-watch television, the way he's playing. What he's doing right now, he is the marquee show in the NBA, and he's reminding everyone how good he is specifically. And at times we'll think it's tough when we go through this. It's hot takes, debates, it's fans' opinions, it's championships, this or that. And, for Steph Curry, I think a lot of people realized, yeah, it's a good shooter, but Look who he's playing with. And then Kevin Durant comes to town. It's like, of course they're going to do that. But this is a tough stretch for him because they weren't playing good, and Curry was doing his thing, but they weren't winning games early, and that can be really difficult. Now he is exploding, and they're winning some basketball games. That's the biggest thing to me.
Right?
Is they're making this stretch, this push, where he's beating good basketball teams. That was a good Philadelphia team last night that couldn't handle Steph Curry, and that changes absolutely everything. When you're doing that, you're winning games, you're coming down the stretch, and then do it in the postseason with a depleted roster really would tell everybody, okay, yeah, this is a dude that you got to respect more than just, he can shoot the basketball.
And he's pretty efficient with it. 10 of 17 from threes. I mean, the guy's jacking 17, like 10 of 17. Right? What's a good three-point percentage? 40?
Like high 30s
38?
for some people.
Yeah, 38, right? I mean, that's a good – he was 10 of 17 last night. He has hit 54 three-pointers in his last 6 games. The stat, and just to put it into a little perspective, I gave you the number 21 career games with 10 or more three-pointers. Okay, it seems good. Do you know who's second? Do you know what the number is at second? The second most in the history of the game. So he leads the history of the NBA. And granted, it goes back, 25, 30 years as far as the three-point shot. 21 career games with 10 or more threes. Klay Thompson is second. Do you know how many he's got? Want to take a guess?
7.
5. He's got 21. Just so that, and he's got 4 in the last 5 games. So just there's your perspective of what he's doing, and if you want to get in. All right, we'll talk more about it, and I want your thoughts on what Steph is doing, and I'll bring it up throughout the morning. And love for you to get in at 505-246-0610. That's area code 505-246-0610. Guest list today, 8 o'clock. Ray Birmingham is going to join us. Emotional day out of Santa Ana Starfield yesterday. JJ, I afterwards, I hugged Ray, and I love Ray Birmingham, right? I love the genuine person he is. I love what he's built. I love how he shows emotion. And his whole thing was, I wasn't going to cry. And I'm like, damn, I cried. Why wouldn't you? Like, if I'm sitting in my chair where I am, you're the star of this show. Like, why can't you? And he's like, get it together, cowboy. And he got choked up early. It was emotional. And it was Ray, and it was good, and it was right. And he thanked, in his way, to the university, I love you. To my players, I love you. Very succinct and very Ray. And he'll talk about the timing and why and what's next. And he's going to stay around as an ambassador. And I think that's going to help ease that transition that I talked about yesterday as far as the fundraising piece. And I don't know if he's going to have a say in who the head coach is, if he's staying on. And that's going to be Eddie's say, obviously. And I know that Ray's got certainly a preference in that, but it was an emotional day, as those kinds of things are, but good for him for going out his way on his terms.
Yeah, and watching what we saw yesterday, it was, you said, everything that we expected out of Ray Birmingham. His passion for the program, his passion for the state of New Mexico, and you knew that he wasn't going to just immediately sever ties from the University of New Mexico, because he said baseball is a people's game and he's a people's person. And so he's going to continue to do that, just with a little more time with the family. Yeah,
it was, and you sit there and you understand it. And he said something that resonated. I did Henry T's show yesterday. And I don't know how we kind of weaved into, and that airs on ProView Networks, how we somehow weaved into career path. And, when I got out of television and I am going into Ray on this there. And with my career, allowed me to be a dad, allowed me to be there. I'm incredibly grateful. And when he said, he pointed at his 3 grandkids yesterday, and he says, those tykes can talk now. They can say grandpa, and I need to be there. And that's what's important. He said, while he said to his family, while you were doing important things, I was out doing something else. And he didn't have to apologize for it. That was his profession. That's how he supported his family. That was his passion. And you don't give everything up that you love. But I understood it, right? When he said, it's time for me to go be with my family now, I'm home. Kind of, I just had that conversation, and I kind of get it.
Demanding profession. Coaching athletes, recruiting athletes, doing all the fundraising, and you absolutely understand. You get to a certain point when you have that ability to say, it's my time. And he mentioned that there are some things that he still needed to finish, specifically with the field and the clubhouse, getting some things in place, because it sounded like it's been close. It's been on his mind for a little bit. And he finally got to a point where he felt that everything that he wanted to outside of getting to Omaha, which he said they're still going to get to Omaha. He believes in him, and he'll be there in a walker if he has to. He kind of put the things in place, and now he can go be that grandpa.
Now he's going to call Warren Buffett and get that other third. 505-246-0610. Would love your thoughts on the Ray Birmingham conversation yesterday, what Steph is doing. We've got more NBA to get into. There's a lot of high school stuff, local stuff. There's NFL as we get closer and closer to the draft. Alex Smith's retirement. I certainly want to get into that as well. Ray Birmingham at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll talk about the Lady Lobo women's soccer team. That's very redundant, wasn't it? The women's soccer team at the University of New Mexico, their matchup now in the NCAA tournament. It's all coming to you on this here radio show that we call The Opening Drive, that you can watch on ProView Networks and listen to on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Makes a Opening Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveris for 3. Yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there, she's able to head it, and she controls. Dugan's there, she's at the center, gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here. Off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
That ball played to the top of the 18. Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter. Tries the slam and does it. So in two... Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in. Well, there's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras.
How about women's soccer? Will play a week from today. NCAA tournament in North Carolina. They get Navy, the automatic qualifier out of the Patriot League, 4-4-1. The winner will advance to take on a 4 seed in the TCU. I don't know what that means, JJ. It feels like they were seeded somewhere around 5-6. I know they don't seed these teams that have to play in the first round. Top 4 teams in each region will receive a bye, but to go in to play a 4 seed as opposed to a 1 seed in the round of 32, I think tells you that I don't know. What does it tell me? It tells me that they would be seated right around a 5, right?
Yeah, I think it's fair when you try to break it down where the top 16 seeds got the first round bye, and so they're playing into 4 seed TCU. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and I haven't even got a chance to really look into Navy just yet. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know what the NCAA's broadcast schedule is going to be, and I think it's going to be really frustrating for a lot of people because I'm not sure if it's going to be able to get these earlier on games on, which I think is a huge problem. And if you're going to have all these games in one place, you absolutely should be televising them or streaming them in some capacity. But I know it was an exciting day after we wrapped up with Jaden Edwards. They went to I don't know where they were exactly. I think there was
It looked like they were in their meeting room.
Meeting rooms, and watched it. And it's always a cool feeling. You know you're in. You're an automatic qualifier, but still you're watching a selection show, and then you hear the name come across, and then it hits home. Like, yeah, going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I saw Heather at the Ray Birmingham press conference, and I said, because I didn't know at that point, I said, so I didn't hear who'd you get. She said, we're playing Navy. I said, I don't know what that means, so help me, because I mean, honestly, know nothing about them, right? What do you know about the Navy women's soccer program? And she said, well, they're 4-4-1. I don't know. We're going to learn, and so they're going to learn. And Heather will probably come on with us sometime later this week before they take off. But I didn't even think twice about the broadcast schedule, did you? I mean, I figured NCAA women's soccer, every game has been streamable. I never even figured that it wouldn't be. Are you telling me that it might not be?
Well, I'm looking to confirm where these games are going to be played. So they're playing the first round of all the games is April 27th to 28th next week. So we've got a little bit of time to dial it down as we dive into the matchup and get ready to see how this will go for the Lobos.
Okay. All right. The Navy team, the middies, are they midshipmen, midshipwomen, just middies, whatever. Navy got in. They won a penalty kicks in the in the Patriot League final. They played Colgate, and that's how they got in. So that's what you've got there. Locally also, and we'll get into this tomorrow. Sebastian Noel will join us coming up at 8:00 tomorrow from ProView Networks. We'll talk high school sports, but Artesia's got a new football coach, and they're in the family. Jeremy Maupin is going home. The coach there, and he's from Artesia, and he's been in Los Lunas for the last bunch of years, done a great job. And Cooper Henderson hired him away from Los Lunas. He resigned yesterday. This surprised, it seems like, nobody in the high school sports world in this state, right? Everybody kind of saw this one coming. It happened pretty quickly yesterday. The resignation came in early in the day at Los Lunas, and he goes down to Artesia and takes over, and he's going home at one of the most storied programs, if not the most storied program in the state of New Mexico. And it's great for Artesia. It's a bummer for Los Lunas, and now both Los Lunas and Berlin are looking for coaches. But not a surprise to anybody, and a guy who's had success and going home and trying to rekindle it and keep it going down there.
He did some nice things at Los Lunas, and that's a big opportunity to go to Artesia. What you mentioned, the history of the high school football program, they're bringing it back in the family. It makes a ton of sense, and there's a lot of time now to figure this out with the weird mini season that they just had, and now going forward for Los Lunas and Belen. Opportunities arise, for the next coaches to come in there, get their opportunity, and it'll be interesting to watch how this all plays out, especially down south, and then all across the state with getting back into it, figuring out what it's going to look like next year, because there's still, oh man, a lot of challenges, but we're grinding to get this season done.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. The NMA is talking about shutting things down. You're having all these super spreaders of potential events and parties, and so they're just trying to get to the finish line. And ProView Networks is trying to get them there a long way, because just all of the obstacles that keep popping up, it's not gone away. All right, big news in the NFL yesterday. I think Alex Smith, the comeback player of the year, retired. And for me, I don't know where you are on this. This didn't surprise me. Okay, he turns 37 next month. He had that leg rebuilt. I think most of us saw Project 17, the documentary that rebuilt his right leg after that gruesome injury. He almost lost it. He fought all the way back. He was the comeback player of the year in the National Football League last year. And he came back and he win and he wins that, and he played well. I'm not going to tell you he played all pro level, but he played well. The Washington football team released him after a 16-year career, and you and I both thought, and I really thought Kansas City was an ideal spot for him to go as a backup. It just seemed ideal to me. He groomed Patrick Mahomes to take that job and then to go in there and back him up and be with Andy Reid. It felt right. I wasn't surprised, but there's a lot of people I heard yesterday, JJ, that said, well, why did he go through everything he went through just to then retire? And I never even thought that, because it felt to me like he went through that insane rehab, that he was going to be lucky to keep his leg, let alone walk on his leg, let alone play in the National Football League again. And I think it was, I always felt he was trying to prove something to himself, that he could come back and play after everybody told him he couldn't. And he came back and he proved everything he needed to play. He came back and he won games. He came back and he put his team in a position to get to the playoffs. He came back and he played at an NFL good quarterback level. And so to me, he kind of did everything he wanted to do, except for, obviously win a Super Bowl. How did you see it? When you heard yesterday that Alex Smith was retiring, did you find it a disappointment, a surprise? Because
I didn't find it disappointing at all. The why he came back, I think that helped push him through the rehab process.
Yeah.
When you look at what he went through, the challenges, potentially looking at not even having his leg, all the infections that he went through, multiple surgeries, and then football was something that helped push him through that. It gave him something to focus on. Of course, there's his family and being a dad, and then that extra push came from the game of football and trying to prove everyone wrong and get back to a place that we didn't think we'd ever see Alex Smith again on a football field with the severity of that injury. And then ultimately to play a role. He saved Washington's season when he came in, pushing them to the playoffs last year. It was a remarkable comeback. It was a very solid career for Alex Smith, and I get it at this point in time. He came back. He showed everyone that he could handle it, that he can still play the game of football, but it's time. When you're looking around that family, just everything that he went through, I didn't find it was a disappointment at all. To me, it was absolutely a success story to see Alex Smith back on the football field.
Yeah, I think it's a celebration. I do. To me, that's the opposite of disappointment. Quote from Alex Smith 2 years ago. I was stuck in a wheelchair, staring down at my mangled leg, wondering if I'd ever be able to go on a walk with my wife again or play games with my kids in the backyard. Putting my helmet back on was the farthest thing from my mind. I kept asking myself, all of this for a stupid game? End quote. He said that having the ball in his hands when he was working out, and if you saw Project 11, he was down in Texas where injured veterans who've lost limbs rehab. He said that just putting a football in his hand made him stronger, more driven. And that's what came into focus. You know what? I celebrate. You can call his career whatever you want. I'm going to call his career a success. He was a first-round overall or number 1 overall pick. Yeah, he kind of set the table for quarterbacks, right? I mean, he set the table for Colin Kaepernick. He got hurt. Kaepernick came in. He set the table for Mahomes. Then Mahomes came in. He was steady. He was good. He was way more mobile than anybody gives him credit for. By every account, was a good teammate. I'm not telling you he's a Hall of Famer. You don't have to be a Hall of Famer to have a good career, by the way, right? I'm going to tell you he had a pretty good career. I'm going to tell you he had a good career.
And I'm going to agree with you. You know, his time in Kansas City was solid, as was his time in San Francisco, getting teams really close, being a solid quarterback. And, you know, you look back, and even though Kaepernick didn't necessarily go on a long run with San Francisco, you saw what he did in the postseason, and then you're not going to argue with Patrick Mahomes taking your job. So,
yeah, I love your thoughts on Alex Smith retiring. A, were you surprised? And B, what in your mind, Alex Smith's career was what? Successful? Good? Underwhelming? Where were you? And I get it. Part of it is going to be predicated on the expectations. He was the number 1 overall pick. If you're going to tell me it was disappointing, I'll listen to that. I'm going to disagree with you, but I'll listen to it. 505-246-0610 is how you get to us. 888-922-0610. Aaron's producing on the television side. You can watch the show on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or you can go to ProView Network's YouTube page. Bobcat will take your calls, 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought.
And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it. We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Talk with Ray Birmingham coming up at 8 a.m. Retiring from coaching, 14 years at the University of New Mexico. What is it, 43 years in coaching overall. A tremendous story. Looking forward to the conversation. Listening to him talk yesterday and then just getting to the point of what it's like when you finally get there. As we talked about the end for Alex Smith, well, of course, you can see why that decision might come a little bit easier for a guy who had a significant leg injury. Showed everyone, all right, I'm back and still play this game, but now I'm going to move on. And then when you talk to someone that's that deep in coaching and what they've done, in the state of New Mexico specifically, was it a hard decision to come to? Was it easy when he was thinking about his grandkids and the family time? And so we'll talk with Ray Birmingham coming up at 8 a.m. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal, JJ Buck. Jeff Siembieda back on the mic. What it do?
I do a lot. Just watching some Trey Lance video and trying to figure out, where will you go? To me, I told you I think he's the biggest wild card in this whole draft, and ends up the more I watch him. I know yesterday he had his second pro day, and so everybody's talking about him. But while I'm not convinced as convinced as you are on Justin Fields, and I feel like this is why I'm going to be wrong. I feel exactly on this draft on Justin Fields, right? Yes, as I did when you were telling me about Deshaun Watson coming out years ago out of Clemson, and you were dead right on Deshaun Watson. And he slipped and he slipped and he slipped, and there he was. I'm not as sold on Justin Fields. I think he had that one great game in the semifinal. I just thought his senior season was so inconsistent. I see it, and I think it's there. And I'm not telling you I think he's bad. The Lance thing really, really, really intrigues me. And I don't think I'm not sure how. I don't evaluate like these guys do. It's my eye test and reading and what I see. I don't see how you could evaluate Mac Jones ahead of Trey Lance, other than he's from Alabama and he's from North Dakota State, right? But how do you put? I mean, are you on the Mac Jones train?
I'm not. I have him, 5. I
think I do too.
Top 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it's one that you see the intangibles, all those things you want to see. His arm's fine, but I don't want fine in the first round. Like, I want a guy that can be more than that. And when you're looking at Zach Wilson, and you can see why teams fall in love with that arm talent. He's got that Jay Cutler-esque, just sling it everywhere, whatever arm angle is needed type of arm. Trevor Lawrence, no question. Like, that's why we're not even talking about Trevor Lawrence. There's nothing to talk about anymore.
Right,
He's the number one pick in the draft. And then with Justin Fields and Trey Lance, it's the ability to play from the pocket, to make the throws, and add in the athleticism. I like those guys. And then Mac Jones is at 5 for me. Yeah,
I think you and I are same at 1-2. I've got Trey Lance 3. It's a gut feel for me. There's something. I look at that young man. I just watch his athleticism. I watch him play, and I think the uncertainty is what's going to knock him down. That they played kind of one game this year, and he didn't play incredibly well. And I think it's, you could say, well, if you put Zach Wilson out there, Trevor Lawrence against that team, and they just played, maybe.
Jack on the line.
Playing one game over the course of basically 18, 20 months. I don't know. To me, I just got a feeling on it. But I've been wrong. Look, I had a feeling on Matt Leinart. Like that's my favorite one. I tell you, I thought Matt Leinart was going to be really good in the National Football League, and he wasn't. So he wasn't. Jack, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How you living, Jack?
Hey, how's it going out there, guys?
Good. How you?
I was just doing good on the morning drive. Was listening to you guys talk about Alex Smith, and I think. I was just trying to think about what I could remember to surmise his career. He certainly was never. Certainly wasn't a bust for his career. I thought he had a respectable, solid career. Yep. If I could kind of put descriptive words to it, I wouldn't say he wasn't an All-Pro. Not a Hall of Famer, but definitely respectable and solid. Somebody that you could depend upon. Somebody you could who would be a leader and mentor other players on the team. Had a good attitude. Just for the betterment of the whole. I think he took on that approach, which is pretty awesome considering you could have a lot of talent, and if you don't do all that, then it's kind of null and void. But I would say his comeback is remarkable. I would say that's he had a Hall of Fame comeback, if you want to call it that.
Yes, I'll call it that.
So, I think that was a remarkable story, and especially the way you guys described it, kind of breaking down, what was in each step of it, how he wasn't even sure if he's going to walk, and
let alone keep his leg.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah, that's. I don't know if this is true or not. But I had also had heard. Wasn't his life in jeopardy at one point, or was it just his losing his leg?
No, they were saying his life. They thought they would save his life, but there was a moment where they were really concerned about his survival, and then really concerned about his leg. Here's what I'll tell you. I think, Jack, I think circumstances potentially prevented him from being great. Meaning, the injury, the year with the 49ers. There's people who think that the 49ers might have won that Super Bowl if he was the quarterback. And certainly the injury derailed him, and Kaepernick came on in circumstances that there's Colin Kaepernick, and he won that job. And even when Alex was ready to come back, he didn't get his job back. He goes to Kansas City, and they draft this talent, right? I mean, as we've now seen a generational talent in front of him, he loses his job to that guy. And so he goes to Washington, where he's leading a franchise, and then he has that cataclysmic injury. So you look at circumstances derailed him. I'm with you. It wasn't a great career. It was a really good career. And I think having a good career in the NFL is nothing to be ashamed of.
And one other thing, too, he did have several coaching changes at San Francisco when he was
constant.
It was not an easy, he had Mike Singletary come in, and they had
Harbaugh.
I think he had like three different coaches in like 5 or 6 years, and that wasn't.
Mike Tomsula.
I understand the culture wasn't very positive there, so he kind of had to roll through that.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, Jack. Appreciate you. Thanks, Jack. Don't be a stranger. Yeah, he went through, wasn't it Singletary, Tomsula, and then Harbaugh, changing offensive coordinators. I'll give the man this. I mean, because I like Alex Smith, and I don't know how you watch that documentary and don't like Alex Smith. A really good quarterback, and the only reason anybody would tell me that he didn't have a successful career is because they would tell me he didn't live up to being the number 1 overall pick. And then I ask you, who does? Well, the guy was picked in the 6th round back in 1999. The guy who was picked 10th, in Mahomes. Circumstance, I do believe, derailed him, right? Injuries derailed him. He got hurt. Kaepernick was there. Boom, he lost his job. He goes to Kansas City. Boom, they draft Mahomes. He lost his job. Could he have won a Super Bowl? I don't know. Maybe. Like could they have won the Super Bowl that year? There's Niner fans, some, not all, who believe that they would have won that Super Bowl if Alex Smith was the quarterback instead of Kaepernick. I'm not sure I believe that.
They didn't lose that Super Bowl because of Kaepernick.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That was a really tight game. That was crazy lights out, pause, someone needs to replace the light bulb game in New Orleans. And it's, to your point on turnover consistency, that's why this
early
game is so hard. Because once Harbaugh came in and there was a little consistency finally in organization, Alex Smith has a 13-3 season. Yeah. He goes into that next year feeling good, gets hurt.
All right, love your thoughts on Alex Smith. I got more NFL stuff for you as well as we get closer and closer to the draft.
It's time to take control of your fitness. And what if I told you can find all you need, strength training, cardio work, full body functional fitness all in one place, and it will only cost you 45 minutes. F45 Training is the gym that brings it all together with high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app to see the schedule of classes. You can sign up for your 7-day free trial and get going with classes 7 days a week. You'll find one that works for you. The gym is located 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's really good access from wherever you're coming from in town. For me, it's on the west side. Hop on the interstate, boom, there 10 to 15 minutes, of course, depending on what class time you go. But with so many options, like I said, you're going to find one that fits your schedule. F45 has helped me take my fitness seriously once again after I keep looking back at that redshirt year I just took. The atmosphere is great, and with the workouts, there's a new challenge every day. It's going to keep your mind and body moving forward. Certified trainers that are there to help motivate and modify, and it creates that great gym experience that will keep you coming back for the challenge and to continue to push yourself. So don't wait any longer. Create your own gym identity at F45. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Discover matches all
You're
the
clear.
cash back
Thank
you
you
earn
so
on
very
your credit
much.
card at the end of your first.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant
Local Talk
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
And AM 610, the sports animal.
But the Alex Smith conversation is interesting. Did I just hear Boomer Esiason say maybe they should Comeback Player of the Year award after him? I didn't thought of that. I will tell you, and I've told you before, that I think Tiger Woods' comeback is the greatest comeback I've seen in sports. Okay? And I'm not going to go back on that. What Tiger came back from physically, emotionally, and to ascend to the heights to which he ascended to win the Masters at 44 years old, whatever he was, to me is the greatest comeback I've ever seen. That does nothing to diminish what Alex Smith has done. And for Boomer to say, and JJ, what do you think? Boomer Esiason in the CBS Sports Minute, we're going to go to the phones here in a minute, said maybe the Comeback Player of the Year award should be called the Alex Smith Award. It's an amazing comeback. And I was just saying, the Tiger comeback to me is still the greatest comeback that I've seen in sports. Just physically, emotionally, mentally, and to go from as high as he was to as low as he was back to winning the Masters at the age he was, to me is the greatest I've ever seen. It doesn't diminish what Alex Smith has done. Should they call it the Alex Smith Award?
I think it's on the table. You look at...
I'm down.
Because we haven't ever seen anything documented like that. There's been documentaries coming back. We've seen major injuries. But, again, we become so numb to this in sport. A guy gets hurt, and we're like, we'll see you a year later. Like, nothing's... Like, it's just the way it should be. Like, you should come back and continue to be amazing when your knee is in 8 different pieces. And in this case, it was even worse than that with what he had to go through. And then seeing it definitely adds a different dynamic to how I feel about Alex Smith and coming back from this injury.
Oh, and by every account, he's a really good guy. And he came back and won, and seems like he did it for the right reason. I have no problem with that. I would absolutely entertain that conversation. Don, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Don.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Great conversation this morning. I was going to ask you guys about Boomer's comment on his little stick there, but yeah, I wouldn't have any issues naming that award after Alex Smith at all. And like JJ was saying, once you see it, if you have, I believe it's a 30 for 30, right?
Yeah, I believe that's
30,
right. Yeah, Project 11.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, whoever's listening out there, I highly recommend that, because I gained the utmost respect for Mr. Alex Smith after watching that little series or that little show there. What he did to come back, and just looking at his leg was, my goodness, he almost lost his leg, almost lost his life. And to come back from that was incredible. Just to go to the second topic you guys were talking about this morning, Steph Curry, he's incredible. The guy has changed the game. There's nobody, I mean, other than Michael Jordan, I don't know if you guys can think of anybody else, Magic, Larry, LeBron, obviously, has had the impact. But not only having the impact, but changing the game and the way the game is played. I don't know who the last player that did that was. But I like watching Steph Curry. I'm not a huge NBA fan. I mean, I'll watch the playoffs. but I have a reminder set on my phone, a calendar reminder, whenever the Warriors play, just so I can watch him play. Last night that reminder came up. I said, oh, they're playing. Let's flip it over there and check out Steph. And he put up another remarkable performance. So enjoy the conversation, guys. Keep up the great work. Great show.
Thank you, Don. Great call. On Steph, it is must-see TV. I don't have the alarm set, but I'm going to maybe start doing that because it's insane. Let me give you another piece on the Alex Smith thing and the documentary. Look, if you're queasy, you may not want to watch it. Like there's some things in there that you cannot unsee. There's a shot of his leg when it's down to the bone, where it looks like you're looking in a meat locker, right? You're looking at a butcher shop. It's insane. But I think that shot is what's burned in my mind and what gives me the respect. But here's the other piece of that. It's not just the physical rehab that he came back from. I watched that twice. Watched it once with Addie, once with Audra. They both had why did you make me watch this? But that was insane. And thanks for making me watch this. I don't recall him ever complaining. Right? Do you ever recall one in there with like, why me? Why, one of those why me moments, one of those woe was me moments? Because I don't recall that. And if it was, I'll go back and look at it. But do you ever, sure, he was depressed and he went through a lot of it, but it was never, why me, feel sorry for me moment.
I don't recall anything outwardly. I'm sure the amount of emotions and things that are running through your head take you to all those places back and forth multiple times when you're trying to get through that.
That was one of the things that I walked away. I didn't know much about Alex Smith, a Utah guy. It went to Utah and first pick and talented. And I walked away just liking the guy, if that makes any sense. And I know that's somewhat what these are made for. But you don't always walk away liking the subject of those things. And I don't know, Boomer's interesting, JJ. Sometimes you have something extreme. They named the Larry O'Brien Trophy in the NBA after a former commissioner. You've got the Lombardi Trophy after one of the great coaches. People are saying, should you name it, the Brady Award, or at least the, I wouldn't have a problem naming when Tom Brady is retired, naming the MVP of the Super Bowl the Tom Brady Award. Right, he's won 7 Lombardi trophies. You've already, and
you know why I don't have a problem with it? Is because we don't know half these trophies' names anyway.
Well, that's fine, and it's an honor to somebody who's done something just so different, right? Brady's won 7 of them. It's never been done before, and so his legacy. We've never seen a comeback like this. This is where, I'm not all about erasing Lombardi. We don't need to change the name of the Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy because you already honored some. It's like the logo thing, right? They need to change the logo to Kobe. Like, I love Kobe Bryant, the whole Kobe Bryant story, but you honored Jerry West years ago with the logo. What did Jerry West do to take that honor from him? Find another way to do it, right? Have an alternative logo, something. I don't know. But in this case, give me a better comeback in the NFL.
Can't think of one off the top of my head.
Now, maybe because it hasn't been documented, but right, Joe Theismann had this kind of injury. Who was the other one? There was another one of these kind of injuries. Right? And come back and win. All right, Ray Birmingham won a lot. Emotional day out at Santa Ana Star Field. Global baseball coach is retiring after this season. He's going to join us when we come back. Looking forward to the conversation with that cowboy. Then we'll get back to your phone calls at 505-246-0610. Watch the show. Aaron's producing for you so you can see the visuals over on ProView Network, ProView Network's Facebook or YouTube channel, our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Robert Catt producing on the radio side on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu. Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveras for 3, yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there. She's able to head it, and she controls. Dugan's there. She's at the center. Gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
To the top of the 18, Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
And JJ Buck.
No game in American sports loves numbers more than baseball. No game honors its tradition, its records, its numbers more than baseball. But yesterday, it wasn't about numbers or the 406 wins that Ray Birmingham racked up at UNM or the 1,224 victories and 22 championships that he's amassed in his career coaching baseball in the state of New Mexico. It was about people. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, J.J. Buck. Ray Birmingham announced his retirement on Sunday, and yesterday in an emotional day out at Santa Ana Star Field. It was about people. And I said to Ray at one point, JJ, I said, man, you didn't want to cry, but I cried. Well, it's okay for you to cry. Ray Birmingham joins us today on the opening drive. Ray, congratulations on everything. I sent you a note on Sunday night. Just congratulations on getting to this point, on everything you've accomplished. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great.
You know, I heard the word love so much yesterday, and it was I don't know that I heard any numbers. And if I did, they washed over me. Not just coming out of your mouth, but out of all the people who were there, people talking to you. That's probably was not lost on you as you look back and reflected on yesterday, huh?
No, that's probably the most important thing to me, is that people don't care what you accomplished; they care how you made them feel, and. Like I said, Tommy Lasorda told me a long time ago, this is a people business. The rest you'll figure out. And he's right.
Yeah, I think they care about the accomplishments and how it was done. And how it was done was important to you as what got done. And I think the outpouring of love that we've seen on social media and all the people who were there yesterday, this place means something to you. And you could have done this probably anywhere you wanted. How much more does it mean to you that you did what you did, you accomplished what you did professionally and personally in New Mexico?
Huge. I had that choice on a couple of occasions to maybe move and take another position with somebody who thought I should be there, and I, like I say, I mean, I decided to invest in my community instead of my pocketbook. That's basically what happened, and I'm glad I did. It's much more fulfilling that way. I mean, you can't take the bank account to the grave, cowboy, but the feel that you have when you love so many people and they care about you too can't buy that.
Ray, what you said yesterday stood out to me as well. That moment of baseball being a people game, and what Tommy Lasorda said to you. So how do you make that change? How do you make a conversation? How do you make everything like you're just standing on first base getting to know somebody?
That's because I'm from Hobbs, New Mexico. We say hello to everybody. Hey, how you doing? My name's Ray Birmingham. How are you? And people make fun of me about it, but my children don't like that about me sometimes. It's kind of a Will Rogers approach to things, kind of that way, And I like that. I like people. I think everybody's a book, and I want to know about their story, and I enjoy that.
And for you talked about your family and those moments. So was this something was it a hard moment to get to step away from the game of baseball, or ultimately easy when you look down and you say, you know what, these kids, they can say grandpa now, and I can be there for those moments?
They make it easier. The game of baseball is spiritual. It's your soul. It's your life, and the things that you remember aren't necessarily the wins or the losses. You just remember the funny times, and somebody did something goofy, or the smell of fresh cut grass early in the morning with the sprinklers on, the sun coming up, and you're watering, or the feel of a good, smooth infield, the smell of a new glove, and all those things about baseball resonate with everybody that's in love with the game.
Ray Birmingham is a Lobo baseball coach. He's with us on the opening drive. You talked about the kids, and you said something yesterday that so resonated with me. You said, while you were doing special things, I was doing things somewhere else, and maybe I paraphrased. And you and I had a brief conversation about this yesterday, right? We all make decisions. Nobody's got to apologize for anything. You make a decision. That's how you provided for your family, and you had a career, and it was a passion that you loved. And now you've made a decision. You want to be there for the grandkids. When you sit back, I got to believe that you seemed so at peace with this whole thing yesterday when we had that brief conversation. And when did you get to that point? How do you get there?
I've been thinking about it since, Jackson Weller got shot. That bothered me. That bothered me deeply. Still bothers me today. We were at Kansas State, and we had just beat Kansas State, and they've got a really good ball club, by the way, and our kids. But the game was over. Kids, we met in right field, and I came back to the dugout. And in the bleachers right behind second was Jackson's dad. He drove from Dallas, Texas to the game just so he and I could connect, because we're connected. And Felt like, hey, man, you better pay attention to some other things. And so I did.
Well, yeah, it's something. Your connection with this state, with this community has been unparalleled, I think. In my 25 years here, I haven't seen a coach, maybe rocky to some extent, but your outpouring, your outgoing nature is different. You've been around the state raising money. I talk about the first pitch banquet. JJ and I have had this conversation, which I think, it's sold out every year. I said yesterday, Ray, whoever comes in next, their biggest challenge is not going to be winning baseball games. It's going to be continuing the support that you have built. And I guess you staying on in this ambassador role is going to help that transition. But how does somebody come in and continue that? Because, again, what I think you've done as far as statewide support is unprecedented of any program I've seen.
You help them. I mean, I want him to be successful. That's why I'm doing it when I'm doing it, so that he can meet the kids and he can meet the recruits, and nothing changes. It's a smooth transition, and I'll hold his hand, and hey, man, over here, if you need me, I won't get in his way. I want him to be whoever it is, and that's what I want. And that's how anybody does it. Mentorship is real important, and it's happened for me. People have done it for me, and now it's my turn to pass it on.
Will you have a say at all in staying on as an ambassador? And I know you and Eddie have a really good relationship. Will you have a say at all in who your successor is?
He did say that I would be able to have input, and I've already, I've given him my recommendation, and he will evaluate that. He's a smart young man, and he's the right guy. He's done some great stuff, man. He's a good dude, and I, he'll ask me, and I'll ask him, and we'll talk about it, and then he'll make a decision, and that's all you can ask.
We've had a conversation a lot about sometimes a guy with knowledge of the program of the state is the right person, whether it's Heather Dyke, Ray Birmingham, Danny Gonzalez, and sometimes you go outside the family and bring in the right person. Do you have a feel? Should it be somebody in the family?
I'm pretty strong about that. I really do. I don't. If you go back to other places, sometimes there was a time in college athletics when you kept it in the family, if there was a qualified person in the family. But I think in New Mexico, really true, honest ownership is very important for our programs. To have a connection, to care about the people of New Mexico, and care about putting New Mexico kids on your team, and over the years that I've grown up, there have been a lot of carpetbaggers come through our state, and whether it be in government or be in education or be in business, and grab their money and go and leave a wreck, and I don't want that to ever happen again, and neither do the people of New Mexico.
So that sounds like a pretty solid yes. Ray Birmingham is the baseball coach at the University of New Mexico with us on the opening drive.
Ray, how would you compare where this program is, everything, facility-wise, just team-wise, today from when you first threw on that Lobo hat, taking over the program 14 years ago?
I don't know that I don't. Comparisons are only made to say how we've moved in, and people have helped me. But Rich Allday was one fantastic human being, and he went through some tragedy in his lifetime that affected him. Had that not transitioned that way, I'm sure he would have done what I've gotten done, and somebody would have done it. And so the facilities are better, the finances are better, the recruiting's better. And once we get past this COVID, I mean, my poor kids have been to 60 days of quarantine, stop, start, and they've had to, and it's okay. But once all this gets okay, this thing's ready to go now. It's ready to go, and I think that will happen.
Ray, one of the things that I think that you've taken on, Danny's done it, Heather's done it. JJ and I talked about this yesterday. We are New Mexico, and there's some people who use that as a crutch, and some people who use that as a sense of pride and to elevate themselves. You've opted to use that as a positive and wave the banner. Why has that been so important to you? I know you're from this state, and there's a lot of pride, but there's a lot of people who are from this state and just kind of went whatever way they went. For you, it's been really kind of a lifelong effort, it seems, to elevate your home state and show what can be done here as opposed to what can't be done.
Well, it's a chip on my shoulder that I got when I was growing up in Hobbs, New Mexico. Hobbs is right next to the Texas line. And Texas is a great state. But you know, when you drive out of state, when we were in high school, athletically, they didn't worry about us. They didn't worry, it's New Mexico, we'll kick their butt. We got them. No big deal. And so I've carried that chip, and I want to go, okay, here we go. And in 2005, I got to beat everybody in the country, and that was a big deal for me. That the New Mexico flag was waving over a national championship of 600 teams across the country. That was a big deal to me for New Mexico.
It is a big deal. Yeah, I remember when I got hired by a former governor, and he was trying to do things for New Mexico, and he said, I'm tired of hearing why things can't happen. I need somebody to go in there and bleep and show me why something can happen. And it really, it resonated when I was listening to you. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? I'm tired of seeing why things can't happen. Don't tell me why things can't happen. Let me show you why things can.
Yeah, don't give me an excuse. Get it done. This can happen, but it's an attitude. It's an attitude. It starts with an attitude.
Yeah. All right. Ray Birmingham is with us just for a few more minutes. So your role moving forward, ambassador, what will that mean? I know more time with Chris, probably some time back with her family, your family here. You got family, grandkids all over the place. So what now? Because I'm sitting there yesterday, I'm thinking, there's a lot more left in Ray Birmingham. Like you're a young man. Retirement from this position, okay, I'll accept retirement from this position, but I know you're not done. So what's next for you?
Well, I mean, it's Eddie's vision, and Eddie told me that several years ago when he first got here. He said, I would like for you to be this, and this when you retire here. And I said, okay, I got a little more to do here, and let's talk about that when that day comes. And that day has come, and I'm sure he will ask me for special, hey, I need a special help on this. And I go, okay, what's my timeline? I'll get it done. Just point it out. Tell me you need this done. You go run the department, and I'll go get that done. And that's kind of how he explained it to me, and I'm all in, because this education thing is a big deal to me. And I want New Mexico to become that Emerald City in the middle of the state that everybody wants to be at.
Well, lastly, you at peace with everything? You good now that the hoopla is over? It's out there. You get to coach baseball. Can you sit in the dugout and just kind of smell the grass or the turf as it is, and just enjoy these last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it's going to be, knowing that that this is it. It's kind of a nice way, knowing that this is the last run. Maybe does that help you enjoy it more? Are you at peace with all this?
I am. Right now, I'm in the coach protected my players mode, because we won't get to play UNLV this weekend because of their COVID issue. So now I'm hustling this morning trying to find 3 games so these kids can play some baseball. That's the mother hen kind of a thing we got in our coaches.
All right, we'll go to work and get that done. For me on a personal level, I appreciate your friendship, and I love the fact knowing that.
I appreciate you too, man. You're a big deal.
Well, I know that you and I are going to stay friends, and I'll get to see you, and you're going to stay in my life, and that means a lot to me. But I don't know if at what point do I become a New Mexican? It's 25 years. I mean, am I a New Mexican by now? I don't know.
You already are, dude. You're on the New Mexico Bowl. You're already in.
And but for the people, for what you've done, a lot of gratitude for stepping up and waving the flag the way you do, and representing and just loving this state. I think a lot of people owe you thank you, and I'll say it for them. And I love you, and I know I'll see you soon, and be well, and finish out the season strong. Go have fun, Ray. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jeff. I love you, buddy.
Talk to you soon. Ray Birmingham. I mean, it's as good as it gets, man. You just want a guy who loves what he does and where he does it, and wears his heart on his sleeve. Right, Cowboy?
Absolutely. It's just the energy, the passion. It's what you want to see, man. It's what you want out of coaches. We get so results oriented. We do. And it's understandable. College athletics is big business, and there's decisions that need to be made. But you do realize, there's still a lot of good people in that business, still working the right way, trying to do the right things.
All right, we're late for this break, and I'm okay with that. We'll come back. You can have a conversation on what Ray had to say on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two. Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
Well, there's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it! We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A gentleman who genuinely cares about people and who loves this state. And by the way, was really, really good at what he does, and is a great teacher, is an incredible mentor. And Bob just said to me during the break, he said, would you tell me the best teachers are those who genuinely care when their students excel beyond them? Or I know I'm paraphrasing, right?
Basically, that's it. Yeah, a good mentor, coach, teacher, they're ecstatic when they can get their student to go beyond what the student thought he could.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Bobcats produced on the radio side. Aaron on the TV side. That defines it. Look, I know for a fact there have been major league jobs offered to Ray Birmingham over the past bunch of years, hitting coach opportunities in the big leagues that he's passed up to stay here to build this. And this is, look, we've had plenty of people come through here and tell you why things can't happen. Oh, we don't have this. Our facilities aren't this. We don't have the money for this. We can't come. And there's a guy who said, and I get it. He didn't get to Omaha. All right. And so, I'd rather a guy who tells me we're going to get to Omaha at some point that says, well, we just can't compete. We can't do it because we don't have the resources. What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? A guy who's going to tell you you're going to get to the championship level, or someone who tells you, well, we can't because we don't have the money and we don't have the resources and we don't have the travel budget. You tell me. And this guy who told you what he's going to do went out and won how many championships? 4, 5? You get to 5 regionals? I'll take that guy every day.
Absolutely. It's a situation that you want the grinder. You want the guy that goes in there, keeps pushing back. Everyone understands there's challenges. You don't always want to hear about the challenges, but you understand the challenges. And so a guy that can just get in there and keep pushing, build the atmosphere, makes, it's for sure now on the list. Like I know my weekends have been crazy with what's going on, but I'm for sure getting to one of those final baseball games.
No doubt.
Fingers crossed that they can happen, and taking my son out to a game and enjoying the atmosphere and for the love that Ray has for this state and baseball program.
Yeah, and look, I'm full disclosure. Ray and I I consider Ray a good friend, and so I'm not trying to do any hard hitting journalism here. I'm not pretending that anything that it's not. Ray has become a good friend, and I understand what that interview became, or that conversation became. But genuinely, I do believe that people who in the baseball community owe him a thank you, and I think most people are on that. I think they've got a facility, they've got a program, and they've got miles. So you always point, what's the signature win? What's the signature win of a program, right? They went to Texas and beat the top ranked team in the country that year, right? When they got to the regionals, when they beat TCU in the finals for the conference championship at TCU. Some of those things resonate, and you've got a few of those. So, good dude, and a guy who loves this place, and I don't know what more you want.
I think you get all you want out of a coach like Ray Birmingham, and you see it throughout the program. And you said there's not a perfect way, but it feels like there's a really good mix. The challenges that athletic department has been through over the last few years, to be in this position with the amount of positivity surrounding your major programs, and then just your coaches overall, from what Ray Birmingham is doing. Heather Dyke, Paula Congleton is a UNM alum that is coaching the softball team. Of course, we always talk about track and field and their success. It is a fantastic time at the University of New Mexico right now.
So what do you think about his comments about keeping it, in the family? And while he didn't say straight out, I mean, he certainly intimated what he felt. And as far as who comes in next, do you feel it should be somebody familiar with, maybe a former big leaguer who is from here that went to UNM? Should they? Is it a requirement that it be a sitting head coach? Big league experience is a pretty big deal at this level, right? I look at, didn't Nebraska hire Darren Erstead when he did not have any big league coach or any coaching experience, right? That was his first job. He went home back to Nebraska and had some success there. Where do you feel, does the new coach have to have coaching experience?
Coaching experience? I don't think it has to have coaching experience, because I think we've seen that model even at the highest level debunked, so to speak. It used to be, all right, you're going to start out in single A, work your way up to become a big league manager. So I don't necessarily think coaching experience has to be a part of it, but it's you need a different support staff collegiately when you dive into recruiting and all that stuff.
It's interesting because I think this baseball program is different than the basketball program. Okay, I know when basketball, Eddie said, we're going to have somebody who's been a head coach. And I get it, right? Basketball's, in some respects, your bread and butter. It's a different world, I think. I don't know. What about a young former big leaguer who's from here, who's played this program, that loves this place? Would that make sense to you?
Sounds all right.
All right. I mean, if the guy is the right guy, yeah. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. All right, 246-0610. We're open the rest of the way. You can get in on Steph last night, on Ray Birmingham's conversation, on Lobos versus Navy. Wherever you want to go, 505-246-0610. International Protective Service, IPS, has watched my home for a lot of years. I trust them to keep my home safe when I'm here, when I'm not here, when I go on the road. I've trusted IPS for a long time. Maybe you've signed up for home or business security with a local company, promised armed response, and that security has been bought and sold twice. Now your security is in the hands of a company from Texas. If you make the switch to IPS, you can have what it is you want and have the security you deserve. Aaron Jones owns IPS. He's from Albuquerque, and he's not going anywhere. He's passionate about providing protection for your home, family, and business that you've worked hard to build. IPS has highly trained armed guards watching what's important to you when you can't be there. 24-hour patrols, armed officers who usually respond to your home alarm within 5 to 7 minutes. Trust your protection to a local company that's passionate about making our city a safer place to live and work. I trust IPS. Go away, let them know. They do exterior checks every day. Pick up your mail. Roll out the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. Just give your home that lived-in look. 897-2420. 897-2420 is their number, or visit them online at ipsglobal.com.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Last night, it's a nightly thing with Steph. You can get in on that. 49 last night, but more so important for his team. They won a game that was really important to them, and against a really good team. Warriors beat the 76ers in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, something like that. 107-96. 49 for Steph. He went bonkers. 10 of 17 from three-point land. It's his 21st 10-plus three-point game, which is by far the most in the history of the game. You can get in on that. You can get in on the Ray Birmingham conversation. The Lady Lobos in soccer will play Navy in the NCAA tournament. How about your chicken nuggets last night? Nikola Jokic with 42. Big win over Memphis at home in double overtime. Look, they're going to hang in and probably hang on to that 4 or 5 spot and play the Lakers in the first round, huh?
Yeah, they're not a bad team. They just went from title contender to early playoff exit without Jamal Murray.
No, it's so unfortunate because they were so good. Bob, who'd you tell me was there?
Edward.
All right, let's go there. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, sir.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to talk to Bobcat. You know, I do have a Bobcat story, by the way, but not your Bobcat. He's my Bobcat. Back in the Crusher days, there was a lady that was a few years older than me, and back then they called them Cougars. And she's like, "Don't call me a Cougar." And I said, "Well, how about Bobcat?" And she loved it. So I thought I'd share that with the group. And Bobcat, just to humor you this morning. Hey, Steph Curry is a witch. And you know, I've said this several times. I think if Steph Curry put up 40 to 50 shots in one game, there's no doubt in my mind that he would score 85 plus points. If he shot at a 40 to 50% clip, case in point, in the great Kobe Bryant 81-point game, he put up 46 shots, right, and 20 free throws. And I think the game went into overtime, which was a stellar, incredible game that, probably the most stellar game of his career. In the Wilt Chamberlain game, the 100-point game, it's been told that they would hold up the fast break just to get Wilt the ball inside, which just to, I don't know how many shot attempts he had, but, that was an incredible feat. But I think that if Steph Curry put up somewhere between 45, 50 shots, there's no doubt he could score 80-some points in one game. And I'd love to see it happen, but it probably won't. Alex Smith, he played 7 playoff games. I believe he made it to an NFC championship game and lost by 3 points to the Giants, I think in 2011. He had some success with the Chiefs. I think he had a great career. And I read a stat that he's one of 5 quarterbacks in history, I think, to throw for 33,000 yards and rush for 20-some hundred yards. And, again, not a Hall of Fame career, but I would say a comparable. I think he's had a better career than Tony Romo, more playoff success, and a good run. So
I would entertain that argument. I would entertain that he had a better career than Tony Romo. I would listen to that. Yeah,
absolutely had a better career than Tony Romo, and I believe in the playoffs. I think he's at number 7 all time in the QBR rating. So I think it's credit to him in overcoming his injury, and a very likable guy. And we followed him since the great Utah career he had. And I'm very proud of him, and I just wish him continued success.
Hey, I'm going to give you. Hold on. I want to fill in a hole that you left earlier. So you asked how many shots did Wilt take in that 100-point game? How many shots do you think he took?
65.
It's really close. When Wilt scored 100 in a 169-147 victory over the Knicks, Wilt shot JJ 36 for 63 from the field and 28 of 32 from the free throw line that night. He had 100 points and 25 rebounds. Guy Rogers on his team had 20 assists, just dumping the ball down low. And Richie Guerin for the Knicks had 39, and nobody cared.
That's awesome. Thanks for filling that gap. That's a pretty good guess by the Crusher this morning.
Yeah, that's good.
I did hear when they talked about the game that they were holding up the fast break and waiting for him to come down for it, and they gave the ball every time. So
yeah,
that's
63
awesome. Hey,
shots.
Quick, my favorite topic this morning, and I've always joked with you guys, they should name the AFC title game the Tom Brady Classic, because he only went to 12 of them, 8 straight. But I love the idea of naming the Super Bowl MVP after Thomas Edward Brady.
Or maybe they named the AFC Championship trophy after him.
Well, that's named after the great Lamar
Oh,
Hunt.
sorry. All right, that's right. It is named after Lamar. And I'm not a fan of taking people's names off of it. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely. But the Super Bowl MVP, Thomas Edward Brady, will echo for eternity, my friends. Thanks for taking my call.
See, I thought he'd like that, JJ. How about that? 63 shots. And 20, what I tell you, 32 free throws. How about him? How about Wilt going 28 of 32 from the line?
It's very
for a
good.
big man. Huh? It's a hell of a stat line. It's a hell of a stat line. You think Steph could go for what? What did he say, 100? I mean, if Steph shoots a lot now. There's a lot of times where it comes down, it's just Steph creating. Especially, second, third quarter. Can he go for 100?
Steph.
It's a lot,
man. Yeah, that would be hard. 100 is insane. I don't think he'd go for 100. But we're pushing. He could push 80.
Yeah,
I mean,
hell, 49 again last night. Yeah. He's broke 45 times this month. It's just it's insanity. If you wanted to just go on one of those games where, hey, we don't care if we win or lose, right? We're just here to get Steph some stupid crazy number. Then maybe they could do that. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Come on in, want your thoughts. I'll get you some emails as well. I don't know that I've ever looked at that box score from that Wilt 100-point game. I can't believe I haven't. It doesn't look familiar to me, but it's just stupid numbers.
Insane numbers. And if you're trying to score 100 points, maybe take 60 shots a game, you got to be in shape. So let me tell you about F45 functional training. There's a lot going on. You're trying to figure out how can I get my workout in? Where can I get my workout in? What makes sense for your busy life? Well, F45 Functional Training changes that by giving you a high-intensity workout in a 45-minute class. So take control of your fitness now and check out F45training.com and download the F45 app so you can take a look at the schedule of classes at the Northeast Heights location, 5920 Holly Northeast Paseo, I-25 right there. So it's good access from wherever you're coming from in the city. The app will have the schedule of classes, what workout you'll be doing. It's a new challenge to push your mind and body forward every day. And with classes 7 days a week, you're going to be able to find a time that works for you. Calling games, full-on dad mode, and a 2-year-old. Busy schedule, so the weekend classes come in clutch for me. Saturday and Sunday mornings. There's something there that will come in clutch for you. F45 Training has certified trainers in every class to help motivate and modify if needed. The atmosphere is great, and we're talking no wasted time in this session. There's not long rest sets. You're going, you're putting in the work. It's a different challenge every day, and your full focus will be on getting the best out of that workout in a manageable time frame. You can do it, and F45 is here for your fitness with functional full body workouts. I'm telling you, Saturday and Sunday, boy, I was still feeling it on Monday, but it gives you that hunger, it gives you that edge to keep pushing to better yourself. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app to sign up for your 7-day free trial. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Right now at Wendy's.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Ball played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveris for 3. Yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there.
Can you stay there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here. Out the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
That ball played to the top of the 18. Morgan, nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two.
Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in. Well, there's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it! We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence to
Nike. Kobe Bryant was an important part of Nike's deep connection to consumers. He pushed us and made everyone around him better. Though our contractual relationship has ended, he remains a deeply loved member of the Nike family. Well, that was good. I mean, that was the right way to say it. All right, that'll be interesting, because I think, I don't know, where you're much more in the sneaker game than I am. Where Kobe's in this echelon of, what people always want, the Jordans, right? Still, they're Jordans, but I mean, are LeBrons or Kobe's? I think Harden's with Adidas. Like, whose do you want?
I think Kobe is definitely still in that second spot. It's Jordans, whatever style. You're looking at Kobe's and then LeBron's, and then it's kind of the trickle out of kind of what's popping at that time. Is it a Harden? Is it the Steph Curry nurse shoe? Anything along those lines? But
Right.
Kobe's definitely still got a strong hold. And the thing that the reason Jordan is always going to be number one too is just the different styles, and Jordans have become. It's not just a basketball shoe; it's a style shoe. And when you're looking at Kobe's and LeBron's, a lot of that stuff is still straight basketball. You don't necessarily see too many people all that much rocking just a pair of Kobe's on a Friday night. But there's some designs you absolutely could if you wanted to.
Music out in one.
I guess before Kobe passed away, that he was looking at the Mamba brand, his own brand of sneaker. I think that would have gone better than the Big Baller brand, don't you?
Yes.
All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Alex Smith wasn't the only Smith making news in the NFL yesterday. Alden was making Smith news as well. Not your Alden, different Alden. Got to get into that. Virtual OTAs. Virtual. And they really are voluntary. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
It's like it never happened.
CarCrafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Buck.
Well, Grady says, he sent me a picture of the Zoom Kobe 5 Proto Eyeballs. He said, my kid's been wearing Kobe's for years and is rocking green Kobe's for this year's Drive for 5 campaign. He's consistently said they're the best shoes to play in. And just like JJ said, my kid wears Jordans off the court and plays in the Kobe's. Would you rather be? Would you rather your shoes be the fashion or the performance? You built for performance or you built for show?
I'm going show because there's more dough.
I imagine. But you make your dough by playing.
Yeah, but you're selling them Jordans for $150 at the mall.
How much are Kobe's going for?
$150 probably still, but there's a lot more pairs of Jordans that people are trying to cop.
No, that's probably right. All right, 505-246-0610. Welcome in. You can get in today there or by sending emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. You can find us on the Twitter, _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, and you can watch the show there. Aaron is sitting in a room all by himself. Isn't it amazing? I mean, you get somebody in there who's competent. I mean, it took Alden and Josh and J. Pole, at least 2 dudes, and then Aaron comes. He's like, I don't know why you fools need 2. Like I'm here all by myself. I can push that one button, right? But we're there every single day. Every single day.
Aaron doing the work of 2 dudes.
Yep.
All by himself.
No, that's right. That's right. And then putting games on at night. Alden Smith. We talked about Alex Smith. Alden Smith's in more trouble. Warrant's been issued for his arrest. He's now a Seahawks defensive end. Second-degree battery allegedly occurred in New Orleans on Saturday evening. He's accused of a confrontation where he allegedly choked a victim in New Orleans. The victim was rendered unconscious, taken to a hospital, didn't stay overnight. So allegedly choked a guy in an establishment in New Orleans. I don't know, man. I mean, when you're really, really good, you keep getting chances, JJ. At some point, do you run out?
Yes, you do.
Will he run out?
Well, depending on how bad Seattle needs a pass rush and what story is going to come up about what occurred in this incident.
Like he was really good with the Niners. And then he was arrested on suspicion of DWI after he crashed his truck into a tree up in Northern California. He was suspended for 9 games for violating the personal conduct and substance abuse policies. He was released by the Niners after he was arrested on a hit and run and DUI and vandalism charges. He signed with the Raiders a month later, suspended for a year for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Released by the Raiders in 2018, arrested on multiple charges, including domestic violence, assault, and false imprisonment. Pleaded no contest to that in November 2018 to settle his domestic violence case from earlier that year. Was reinstated, started 16 games for the Cowboys, and made $4 million at 5 sacks. I mean, I got it, man. He's really, really good. Don't they always tell you
he was really good?
All right, he was really
like
good.
that's the thing. And at some point, I just what is Seattle like? Seattle.
I don't know.
By the way, and if you remember the story from last offseason, that reminded of in this story when they acquired Quentin Dunbar and he was accused of armed robbery 2 months later. After that, so their front office is just hitting home runs in the offseason with their character checks. It's an unfortunate reminder of that league does not care. Every one of those teams will stand on their moral soapboxes and say character, this or that, unacceptable. If you can get a sack, you can get away with whatever the heck you want, and we'll keep getting chances to play.
It's pretty nuts, isn't
That's
it?
what it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really, really crazy. And to your point, there's a lot of guys who can go get sacks. But you got a lot less to deal with off the field. Everybody tells me they don't like distractions. It seems like you don't mind distractions if the dude can go out and get you 4 sacks, 5 sacks, 6 sacks, 12 sacks. Is it really a privilege to play? I mean, they tell me it's not a right, it's a privilege. And I guess, okay, it's not a right. Everybody can't do it. Isn't it privilege? What does privilege mean anymore in this context?
It's all about what can get you to that next W. And unfortunately, it's not just the second chances, it's third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances for a lot of these guys. And you look at Alden Smith and you're like, this was a decade ago that he was setting records in 2 seasons. A decade, and you're still chasing that now with all that baggage? Okay.
Fair enough. What are you doing? You know, you tell me you don't want a quarterback who comes in with all that noise, but you're all right with a defensive end who comes in with way more noise than that? Like, you're almost willing to accept it at quarterback. Really? I need that? I just don't. All right, other legal NFL stuff since we're here. The attorney for Deshaun Watson filed his response to the 22 lawsuits. The attorney's name is Rusty Hardin. And from what was there? From March 16th to April 14th, there were 23 lawsuits filed against Watson. And you start saying, all right, what's going on here? Everything from second-degree battery all the way up. I don't know where this ends, man. I guess I don't know where I think this ends. Here's the quote. The lawsuits are replete with mischaracterizations of conduct. These range from misleading to fraudulent to slanderous. Importantly, only 2 of the 22 lawsuits allege that Mr. Watson forced any type of sexual activity, an allegation Mr. Watson again vehemently denies. End quote. His legal response says that After 8 of the plaintiffs massaged Watson, they, quote, bragged about, praised, and were excited about massaging Mr. Watson. The document also says that the plaintiffs willingly worked or offered to work with him after their alleged incidents, that they lied about the number of sessions they actually had with him. They lied about their alleged trauma resulting in harm. Look, I'm going to tell you, and I don't know what the truth is. If they were traumatized and continued to work with him, I think that's got to hurt their case, is it not? If you whatever you say happened, and then you accepted another appointment with him, how do you do that? I mean, were you forced to do that? Did you do it for the money? Like, it's a bad look to me. Now, I don't know where this goes.
This whole thing is a disaster. Like,
yes.
It is so hard. Like, so it's really just 23 people just came together and said, we're going after Deshaun Watson.
Right?
Like, this is, oh, you've worked with him? Oh, you worked with him over there? Let's get him. It's just, this one is hard, and it is usually the last things. And as we report what's out there, read the story, like, there's, all you can do is say, wait and see. Like, it would make no sense to go, oh, Deshaun Watson's going to be an MVP next season. I have no idea. It's a civil suit right now, but still, if there's a settlement, if something goes down, does the NFL still feel like, hey, we need something to happen because this was a court case? Like, this is just, all you can do is let it play out, and it's not going to get done overnight.
Yeah, yes. One thing that you can't get back is your reputation, I don't think. To your point, when there's 23 allegations and you're saying, so you're telling me 23 random women are all jumping on this thing and piling on? They all kind of have the same story, whether it's true or not. And I imagine, JJ, there are some women who could have jumped on this and really just see it as I'm in. It's going to be really hard for Deshaun to get his reputation back. And I got to believe at some point Deshaun is going to be suspended by the league.
Yes, because I can't recall something to this extent, because just as coming off the Alden Smith conversation, people move on very quickly. Now, there's always the folks that are going to throw it out there and remind you of going back and forth and all these, the stupid interactions you have on Twitter between people arguing back and forth, just fan bases attacking players, etc. But you look at, if he goes out there and performs, that's how you move on. And that's just the world of sport. Because you look at Ben Roethlisberger, the stuff he went through, and then now kind of where he's at, the Kobe Bryant situation. You get to a certain level that there's always people that are going to be throwing that back at you. But if you perform, people do allow you to move on.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610 is where we are. 888-922-0610. When we come back, we don't talk a lot of hockey on this show, but a milestone in hockey last night. For even those of you who don't know hockey, you're going to recognize a name involved in this story. And I'm going to give you a stat that may boggle your mind in regards to this record. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a...
We back?
Yes.
Is that the shortest break in the history of breaks?
How does that even happen?
What the heck happened?
Like, how does that even happen?
Hey, y'all.
I mean, Bobcat, we have like 3-hour breaks, and then we come back with, what was that, one spot?
Yeah, we discussed this earlier.
Yeah, I must. I guess I wasn't listening. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. So, you're familiar. You're a hockey fan. You familiar with Patrick Marleau?
I am.
I'm not going to play the game with you. I would play it with Aaron, but I kind of already gave it away. Patrick Marleau, currently with the San Jose Sharks, made National Hockey League history last night. He beat Gordie Howe's mark for the most games played in the National Hockey League. 1,768 games. All right, so that's something, right? They played against the Vegas Golden Knights last night. Vegas won in overtime. He began his career with San Jose in 97-98 season. He set the games played record in 23 seasons. Now, Gordie Howe played like 400-something more games in the WHA, but this is National Hockey League. Marleau set the record in 23 games. Howe, and they're both from Saskatchewan, by the way, did it in 26 seasons. Gordie Howe retired. You know how old Gordie Howe was when he retired?
47.
51. 51, which is, again, a different time, although maybe Tom Brady gets there. It was the 899th consecutive game in which Patrick Marleau's played. Second longest current Ironman streak among players. That's 900 straight games. But I saw a stat, which this is a great mark, right? Most games played, and you're a Hall of Famer, and anytime you beat Gordie Howe, right? I mean, that's a big deal. JJ, I saw a stat that the NHL put out that Patrick Marleau has either played with or against, so been on the ice with 37% of the players who have ever played in the National Hockey League. So when you think of expansion over his time and how many, it just, I want you to wrap your mind around that. For all the years they've been playing hockey, he has played with or against, of everybody who's played at least one game in the NHL, he has played with 37%. That's damn near 40%. And by the time, who knows when he's done, of the players who have played the league. Sometimes I hear stats that really, and I'm not a big stats guy, but sometimes stats just, I can't wrap my mind around them, and that's one of them.
Yeah, that's a sizable chunk of NHL history right there for Patrick Marleau. And he's going strong. He was a little bit with Toronto last year, then he comes back to the San Jose Sharks, and he's the guy that's still out there grinding every day. I don't know what he's at, maybe like 14 minutes a game at this point in time, but just a legend. And that is unbelievable, because at some point in time, especially in that game, something's going to happen.
Yes.
Right? It's like the two things, like the streaks that are really impressive, it's like football and hockey games played, because there are violent collisions taking place, and to have that number is insane.
You mean there's no load management in the National Hockey League? How do they not load manage in the National Hockey League?
Well, there's injuries.
Well,
that's their load.
There's
management.
injuries. There's injuries, but it's not. Well, Marleau's not going to play today. He needs a day off. It doesn't happen. I know we don't talk a lot of hockey, especially before we. But I mean, that's a pretty impressive number, and 37% of the players who ever played. All right, this came down this morning. National Football League. The Pittsburgh Steelers have given Mike Tomlin a 3-year extension, their head coach, through the year 2024. Came down about an hour and a half ago. He's 49 years old, going into his 15th season as their head coach. This is the Steeler way now. I mean, since Chuck Noll, they've had 2 coaches, right? 3 coaches. Coughlin in between Tomlin and Chuck Noll. And that Chuck Noll goes back to, the 70s? I mean, if you want to start talking about, you look at the Cleveland Browns and how many, I don't know what they've had more of, head coaches or quarterbacks, and obviously it's been quarterbacks, but right, it looks like they change every single year. You can go back to Terry Bradshaw and Franco Harris and the Steel Curtain, and they were winning championships in the 70s. They've had 3 coaches: Chuck Noll, Tom Coughlin, and now Mike Tomlin.
Well, Tom Coughlin wasn't there. It was Bill Cowher.
I mean, Bill Cowher. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Tom Coughlin was the Giants and Jaguars. I apologize. Bill Cowher. And I was seeing Bill Cowher, and I was saying Tom Coughlin. No, well, my error. No excuses. I was wrong, and thank you for correcting me. But my point being, the Rooney family certainly likes their consistency, and they're certainly very loyal, and it works.
Because they're winning. Like, Tom Coughlin's elite level coach. If you want to say, all right, everyone's chasing Bill Belichick, fantastic. Tom Coughlin is a brilliant manager of a football team, because we're talking Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, and you know what? They still somehow went 8-8. They're a solid organization. They draft well, and this makes a ton of sense. Keep the dude around.
Yeah, I mean that's damn. Duck Hodges was their quarterback, huh? They keep winning. Where is he? Like he's a really good coach, right? I know there's a lot of people who struggle with some of his game management stuff. It feels like players like playing for this guy. And we talk about how long is a run for a coach at a professional level. There's not a lot of Popovich's, Belichick's. You got to start putting Tomlin in that. That at some point, when does your voice become want, right? I mean, at some point, when do you need a different voice? And usually the answer is 7 to 8 years, right? This will be his 15th season, and he's got 4 more. I think it takes a special guy to be able to adapt to the players, and the players adapt to him, and by the way, continue to be successful. I don't know how successful they're going to be. Would you say they're the 3rd best team in their division now?
Yes.
You're on the Browns, right? Everybody's on the Browns.
I would have him tied for second
with
Cleveland. I think
what makes
it's
Baltimore number 1? What makes Baltimore so good?
They have the best quarterback in the division, and I still believe and it's like the way I look at Lamar Jackson, it's what you're asking him to do. Can he win you games? And the answer is yes. And so I think I like where they're sitting. They upgrade some of the weapons on the outside with the upcoming draft. That will make him better. Cleveland is solid all across the board. It's the question with Pittsburgh is Ben Roethlisberger. You know they're going to be competitive. Defensively, they got the studs. They got to retool the offensive line a bit. They'll have a new running back. James Conner went to Arizona. But the Ben Roethlisberger at the end of the season was a shot quarterback. Like it wasn't just, he had some bad games. No, it looked like he was done. And so that's the big question with me for Pittsburgh.
Is he done? But, why are they bringing him back then? What do they see that you and I and everybody else didn't see at the end? Because I agree with you. They were 10-0 or whatever they were, and then just folded down the stretch. What do they see? And this is where I always tell you, man, those are the guys who are with them. This is their living. They know better than you and me. They see it every day. What do they see that we don't, that they're staying with Ben Roethlisberger? Because all these teams, I hear this talk about who's a surprise team, who's going to jump up and take a quarterback. Oh, Minnesota. That's the damn team. Yeah. If somebody should jump up and find their quarterback of the future in this draft, and you can jump up to 10 or wherever they are and get a quarterback, that's the team, isn't it? Everything else, they were 10-0, and then their quarterback didn't play well.
Yes. To me, it feels a lot like they're scared of the unknown. They realize even a bad Ben Roethlisberger is better than a Mason Rudolph at this point in time. Guys that
then
have
don't
been
get a
there,
Mason
done that
Rudolph
behind him. Well, that's who's been there.
But
the guy they had. So it feels like instead of having absolutely nothing, you bring him back, keep your fingers crossed, you can get a few more bullets out of that elbow, and then hope you fall into something. Because there's nothing there. It's for them, I don't see them necessarily trading up. So they're going to end up with Kyle Trask or something like that. Or do they become a team next year that once Ben finally says, all right, I'm done, you get out of that contract, that they are in that veteran quarterback, hey, we got a good enough program established here that we need a guy to come in right now and just win.
All right, first of all, why not trade up? They're 24. So why?
I just don't think they have enough to get
capital?
in position if you're looking at, all right, you want one of those top 4 guys. Could they get a Mac Jones? That's entirely possible. I guess that feels like more of a early teens type of quarterback.
See, I thought they would be in the Sam Darnold mix too. I really thought that was a team that made sense to get into the Sam Darnold mix. I don't know that anybody's in the Jim Garoppolo game, right? And that's what's left at this point. It's Jim Garoppolo and it's Sam Darnold. It's that kind of thing. I just why not them jump up at 24 if they've got they'd have to mortgage quite a bit, and I get it. Talk to me about Kyle Trask, because it's really an interesting name, and I was thinking about this the other day. I watched him put up silly numbers early this year at Florida. I get it that he's not as mobile as some of these guys. Kyle Trask he's the quarterback at Florida. He looked every bit to me for the majority of the season like a good professional quarterback with a big, strong arm.
Kyle Trask is neck and neck with Mac Jones, in my opinion. Look at these quarterbacks, what they can do. He's more mobile. And when we're talking about athletic ability, a lot of times, doesn't mean you need a guy that can run the read option all the time. But it's being able to make some plays off script. Kyle Trask can do that. He's, I think, really interesting because he's a guy that's going to come in and sit behind someone. Like, there's not a team that's going to pick Kyle Trask in the second or third round. So Kyle Trask with the Pittsburgh Steelers, round 2, I think we could probably put that on the board. I think that is absolutely a very intriguing situation.
What about New England Patriots?
I think all these teams, once you get to 15 and on, outside of that top 4 quarterback market, and then ultimately we'll see just what NFL teams do feel about Mac Jones. It becomes very intriguing because you wonder too what it would be worth back into the first round where they rate those guys, because Mac Jones is the one guy I do see slipping. And so if he goes down to the teens, if the Patriots pass on him, I think a lot of other teams pass on him, and then he gets into that late first round mix if someone fell in love with him. So,
because I'm kind of with you, why is Mac Jones graded so much better than Kyle Trask? If you'd have asked me all throughout the season who's going to go first between those two in the draft, I mean, to me, it wasn't even really an issue. It was Kyle Trask, right, over Mac Jones. Now, Mac Jones had the success as a team. They win a national championship, and they're Alabama, and I get it. I'm taking, if I'm mid-first round, late first round, and I'm in that quarterback market, I'm taking a deep, deep look at Kyle Trask. Would you like Kyle Trask or Drew Lock?
I think you go with Drew Lock.
Okay, why?
At this point in time.
Because you're already vested?
Yeah, and if, to me, with Drew Lock, he has, yes, there's still a lot of questions with him, but that doesn't make sense for Denver, where they are, to then spend another second-round pick on a quarterback. Like, if you feel Drew Lock's not your guy, you're sitting there at 9, you have enough ammunition to go up and grab one of those top, like Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Like, if you want a quarterback, go get one of those guys. Don't bring in a Kyle Trask.
Another Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Absolutely.
It's kind of what you're – it's another – I think I agree with you. Like, if you were going to ask me which one do I like long-term, I might go Kyle Trask. But in that situation, to your point, I'm vested in this guy. If I'm going to cut my losses and start over again, I want something that I feel a little bit better about. That I feel better about the upside, that I feel better about the odds of him being an upside. I think I agree with you there. I'm just – Pittsburgh and Kyle Trask, to me, resonates quite a bit. Now, I don't know how the Florida kid's going to play in Pennsylvania. I think that's another – Buffalo and Pittsburgh are another places where I start thinking about, all right, where'd you come from? Right? How – a Florida, Southern California kid, can you play in these elements? Because I think that's real.
Yeah, and that entire division.
Yeah, no doubt.
When you look at where you're going to Cleveland, you're going to Cincinnati, you're going to Baltimore.
Yeah. Now, Carson Palmer did well in Cincinnati. Nobody's done well in Cleveland. Brian Sipe did, and he was from San Diego State. So I guess that's way back in the day. I mean, you got, who was you got a Baltimore quarterback that was a warm weather quarterback.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. But they played games in the cold.
Baker
then,
coming
of course,
from Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it can be done. It's not like it's not a trait that you can't acquire, but it's certainly a trait that you can not acquire, if that makes sense. That some guys just can't do it, right? 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Get you your thoughts when we come back.
A trait that you can acquire is getting a hold of your fitness. What are you doing to better yourself? The last year has been crazy, and we've thought about health, but have we thought about it in terms of what we need to do to better our fitness levels and what kind of impact that can have on your overall health? So let me tell you about F45 functional training. It is a way to take control of your fitness. You're going to get strength training, cardio work, all in one place in a manageable 45-minute session. F45 training is a gym that brings it all together with high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app to see the schedule of classes. You can also sign up for your 7-day free trial on the app and get going. And with classes 7 days a week, you're going to find one that works for you. The gym is located 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's good access, Paseo I-25, from wherever you're coming from in town. And F45 has helped me take my fitness health seriously once again. The atmosphere is great, and the workouts, there's no wasted time. The 45-minute session, you get it in. We're talking maybe like 20 to 30-second rest in between sets when you're changing your movements, and then you're right back on it. I am enjoying this, and you are too. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app. Trainers are there every class to help motivate and modify, and it is a fun gym experience that you're going to enjoy. So don't wait any longer. Create your own gym identity at F45. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Proud supporter.
You can say a lot about yourself.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide on Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry.
505-246-0610 if you want to come at us today, 888-922-0610. We've had conversation this morning about Steph Curry going for 49 last night in a 107-96 Warriors victory in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania against the 76ers. He's nuts. 11 times he's been over 30 points this year, 5 times over 40 this month. It's 11 straight over 30. 11 straight. 21 10 or more three-pointers in his career in a game, which is at outdistances the second best by 16. The next guy is 5, which was Klay Thompson. So you can get in on that. Ray Birmingham was with us, talked to him about his retirement. We've talked about Alex Smith's retirement and his career and what kind of career he had. And what does he mean? Edwards said he had a better career than Tony Romo. Better career, Tony Romo or Alex Smith?
Oh my goodness. This is one of the ones that they are the same person. Like, if you're saying Alex Smith, you are not totally wrong, but I think you're just buying into the story of him coming back. Because they are the same exact quarterback across the board. Tony Romo was 2-4 in the playoffs. Alex Smith was 2-5. Tony Romo had a 61% winning percentage. Alex Smith had a 59% winning percentage. Like, they are the same quarterback.
So does it matter that one was picked first overall in the draft and one was not selected at all in the draft? And if it does, which makes it, I mean, is it better that guy, same resume, came from a dude that was undrafted or was number 1 overall? What's more impressive?
Well, I think in that case, you'd probably go the undrafted guy.
Right.
But I do think that when you get to a certain point, like Alex Smith and Tony Romo, they had solid careers. Like, they put some time into the game. And so ultimately, I think you get past that. And you just realize, you know what? Might have made a mistake on this guy, but he's good regardless of whether he was drafted or not.
Dan.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I did not know their numbers were so similar. So thank you for that. So blind resume, you say, give me either one, whichever one's cheaper. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, blind resume.
Which one do I have a coupon for?
Right. Both good.
So here's the comparisons. Tony Romo's career, he played in 156 games.
Okay.
He was 78-49. Completed 65.3% of his passes. 248 touchdowns, 117 interceptions.
Okay.
For Alex
Smith.
Smith.
He was 2-4 in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Alex Smith, 174 games played. 99, 67, and 1. A 62.6% completion percentage. 199 touchdowns, 109 interceptions.
Man, and 2-5 in the playoffs. They're the same
Now,
dude.
Alex Smith does have 2,000 more rushing yards than Tony Romo.
Ooh.
So
see, and I tell you
a tiebreaker scenario.
How many rushing touchdowns?
Rushing touchdowns, 15 for Alex Smith, 5 for Tony Romo.
That pushes Alex Smith over the top. He won more. No, honestly, he won more games. Really, that's really it. He won more games. He played in more games. He had, your completion percentage is nice, but do you win? Romo had a better completion percentage. Romo threw 49 more touchdown passes. It's really close. You can pick your favorite and knock yourself out. Dan, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Dan.
Good morning. Did you try that tongue twister on anybody?
Oh, no, today is Tuesday tongue twister day, isn't it?
I thought you were going to try it on Edward, bro.
I forgot,
that one was specifically designed for him. Egotistical ecstasies.
It is designed for him. All right, I'll send it to him and have him perform it.
I already had the second one ready for you for this week.
All right, I'm a week delayed. Sorry, man, I dropped the ball.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I failed.
The six sheep sick.
What?
You get that one?
No.
No.
Six sheeps. What?
Okay, so the sixth sheik, he owns sheep, and his sixth sheep is sick.
Yeah.
So the sixth sheep sick.
Easy.
Someone's getting fired.
Yeah, it's not Bob, you put your finger on the red button because I don't have it. All right, no, I didn't. I failed you on the Tongue Twister Tuesday.
It's all good, man. It's just for fun. Coach Birmingham, what a guy, man. What a legendary, beautiful person, man. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times over the last few years, just briefly, and to congratulate him. And man, what a sweet guy. He looks at you, he talks to you like he's known you his whole life, and like you're the only person right there, you know. And I'm just so impressed with that guy, and he's done so much for our community, so much for the university. God bless him, and I hope he has a fantastic retirement, and what a great ambassador for our school. So God bless you, Coach. Godspeed. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Daniel. Dan called at 505-246-0610. JJ, I forgot the Tongue Twister Tuesday thing.
I did as well, so it's okay.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that.
Tommy's on the line.
Tommy, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Romo or Alex Smith, better career? Tommy? Hello, Tommy. All right, no Tommy for you. Jack says, I'm loving these short breaks. Is this Bobcat magic? The entire 9 o'clock hour used to be calls by Crusher, Lenny, and commercials. Now Bobcat came in and gives us 30 seconds commercial breaks. And then what was the next one? It'll be like 7.5 minutes. Catches me totally off break. I know. That's one thing I would like. Maybe we get a log and, at least have an idea. When you can go get a cup of coffee or something. All right, 505-246-0610. We'll wrap it up with you when we come back. Tommy, if you want to get back in, you are certainly welcome to do so. You can send emails, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. I had no idea. Tony Romo or Alex Smith. And I know so of course it's Romo. Romo had more touchdown passes, 49 of them. Alex Smith won more games. 21 more games. They're both about the same in the playoffs. Alex Smith had 2,000 more rushing yards and 15 rushing touchdowns. How many rushing touchdowns did Romo have? Do you know?
5.
Romo had better 5, so 10 more there. Romo had a better completion percentage. Alex Smith played more games. What do you value more? Not that it matters. It really doesn't, because Romo's probably going to be a better broadcaster, although who knows? Gentlemen, a few truths for you as you roll through your Tuesday as you age. Things like fatigue, low T, and hair loss are natural. There's a good chance that this can happen to you. There's also something you can do to battle nature, and you can feel like you again. It's New Mail. If you're experiencing these things, you're regularly tired, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds, or you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, I suggest you call New Mail. New Mail has led the way in helping men deal with these issues for years. Their testosterone replacement utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology, and men all over the country have benefited from it. They feel better. Call them at 505-652-1688 or visit them at NewMail. That's NUMALE.com. Fellas, New Mail's convenient. They're right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. It starts with your phone call, runs all the way through the treatment. New Mail guides you through the process. And the best part is the results are real. 505-652-1688. Don't put it off. Take care of you. Visit newmail.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveras for 3. Yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there. She's able to head it, and she can throw. Dugan's there. She's at the center. Gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here. Off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
To the top of the 18, Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two. Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
There's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it! We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Cheese is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
It'd be hard to beat him as a commentator, even though Alex Smith, we haven't seen him do it yet. But Romo's really good at just doing the plays before it even began. He knows, and he's really good at it.
Does
really
it mean anything to you that one guy was the number 1 overall pick and one guy wasn't picked at all?
Yeah, that's why I probably would give Romo a little bit more credit because he wasn't picked. He wasn't expected to do really anything.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get there, you're all expected to do the same thing. So it's a good conversation. I never thought we'd have.
Yeah, I guess I'll be a homer and pick Romo, even though he broke my heart in the playoffs a few times. But again, I don't think that was all his fault.
Yeah. All right, man. Be well.
Yep. We'll see you. Bye.
See you.
Bye,
Jack. Terry, you're up next. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How's it?
We're doing well. So I'll start off with Wilt's jokes first. Well, actually, Wilt ran the hurdles, and I know when Edward mentioned they're getting the ball, yeah, I'm sure when he got to about 90 points, they broke out a pencil and paper in the abacus and said, let's get Wilt the ball. But Wilt would lead the pass break. His body at 26 was much different than his body at 36. But there was the one comedian who said they would call timeout the other team and in the huddle say, who's got Wilt? And, so that was even a joke from 30 years ago. Right. But on to the women's soccer. I should have known better before I looked at the schedule. I thought they got a good draw, but actually, I guess if they beat Navy, they get the number 1 seed in their region, TCU, because the way they seed them is they go 1 through 16. So, like 4, TCU's a 4, but they're the last number 1 seed. So I thought maybe they would have got a little more respect than that.
Yeah, New Mexico's probably an 8, right?
Go ahead.
That would probably make New Mexico, what, JJ, an 8 seed?
Yeah, that's the thing with when you hear the seeding. The Navy game, that's a good matchup. Like that's a solid matchup for New Mexico. But then playing into TCU, that's tough.
Yeah, so I thought they should take care of Navy, put them away. But I thought maybe they would have, overall got a little higher a seeding. But they've had a great year. Yes, it's hard when you don't play interconference games, and they, playing on a neutral field. Hopefully, then they can take care of business, and I wish them the best. So, on that note, you guys have a great day and take care.
All right, see you. 505-246-0610. So I guess I misunderstood that rating or that ranking then, or I'm sorry, seeding. So TCU is the 1 in their region. So that would pretty much make them what, right in that 8 slot? right?
Yeah, so they did it 1 through 16. So TCU was the 4th team out of 1 through 16. That they did, all right, here's the 16 teams that get the first round bye, and then here's everyone else that plays into those seeds.
Yeah, so that's a pretty tough second round trial. Get through the first one, and I mean, look, it's been since 2011 since you've been to the NCAA tournament. Get back in, get your feet wet. And look, in that game, if you're competitive, I mean, who knows, right? You get good goaltending. Who knows some of the bounces that go. So the fact that you're in the game, you're in the game. Get through the first one and figure it out, and you give yourself a shot, don't you?
That's what it's all about. This is the madness of the NCAA tournament, whether we're talking about March or in this case the 48-team women's soccer field. You just need to give yourself that opportunity. And Navy is a team that ain't going to make anything easy. Looking at how they finished their season, they lost their first 4 games. Came back, 500 team, but absolutely grinded it out at the end, won their conference title in PKs. So, they're going to make life difficult. The Lobos next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, I never thought we'd have this conversation, but this is where we are. Alex Smith. I'm going to go Alex Smith over Romo. Just numbers, the amount of wins, games played. But to your point, same guy. You got one? I mean, which way are you going to go if you got to make one?
Check phone message.
Alex Smith. I'll give this a slight edge to Alex Smith. I think overall body of work, that's the same thing. Like if you average it out, if you gave Tony Romo a few more games, the winning percentages I think would still be the same, and you'd be pushing a little bit closer to Alex Smith. I think the frustrating thing if you're Alex Smith, looking at it at the end in Kansas City, when they moved on to Patrick Mahomes, that team goes to the AFC Championship game, then wins the Super Bowl the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you make of the report Cowboys are listening to calls for the number 10 pick? What would it take? Because I could see that. If somebody wants to move up, I could see that's New England. That's the conversation we just had about Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's Trey Lance territory, it feels like.
Right, sure. right. And so New England, I could see New England moving up to 10 to say that I'd be right after Denver.
Absolutely. Like that is those teams right there, because if Justin Fields gets to 4, I think that gets crazy. So it feels like Justin Fields would be 4, and then 9, 10, Trey Lance could come into play, because you're looking at Detroit. I don't think they're going to do anything just acquiring Jared Goff. Panthers just got Sam Darnold. So, yeah, that's Trey Lance territory.
Stephen Jones was on the radio. He said, we've already seen one trade been made, but probably where we sit is where we're starting to get a few calls. I think it'll only pick up as we get closer to next Thursday. It'll only pick up. They finally give you the call, hey, if our guy's there, we'd be interested in moving up to the pick, and maybe even want to fill out a few things like what would it take and those type of things. So you start to get yourself in a mode where you're prepared that a particular team could call if their player drops, whether it's a quarterback or an offensive lineman or a defensive player. They won't divulge that usually, which shouldn't surprise you, but they do say, hey, we got a player 2 or 3 that if they're there, we might be willing to be aggressive and give you something to move up to that pick. Now, look, if you move down to 15 where New England is, you're not going to get a haul, but you're going to get something that's worth your while. Now, to who's it? Tommy's been saying Patrick Surtain, the defensive back. Will he still be there at 15? Like, if he's there at 10 and that's your guy, you don't do that. But let's say the Broncos take your guy at 9.
Yeah.
And then somebody offers
drop
you
down a couple spots, and then
that's right.
If they're coming up and you think it's for a quarterback, you could probably then get them to give you a number 1 pick next year as well, and say, oh, okay, well,
or 2.
Why don't you throw in that 1 from next year? Or if you want to get aggressive, you get like a 2nd round this year, a 3rd round next year. So there's a lot of things you can do at this point in time, and it's a good place to be in, because when you look at those teams, how sold are they on Trey Lance? I think Denver I think you could copy and paste what you just read about Dallas for Denver too.
I think that's probably right. And I think you've already set your prices set, because when you got 15 minutes between picks, right? You better not start your negotiation when the number 9 pick is made. You've already got, like, you're having these conversations. That's why the calls are coming now. Here's what we're asking. Well, here's what we're willing to give. All right, well, that's where it is. But at least you know what the parameters are when you make that call when that 15-minute clock is ticking, right? Tick, 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 tick. Because I'm going to tell you something, that clock runs quick. Even like, you ever do a fantasy football draft where you're on a clock? You get a 1 minute. You know how fast that goes?
You start hearing the teet, teet. You're like, I just picked a kicker. What?
Music out in one, please.
Exactly. Thank you to Ray Birmingham for being with us today. Enjoyed that conversation. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd's after that. Trulio and Carlisle are in with Local Talk. It's the Sports Bar this afternoon. Comes your way at 4. We'll be back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio for you at 7 a.m. Aaron, great work on the TV side. Bobcat, thank you.
You're welcome.
JJ, enjoy the day.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Thank you.